Welcome to this explainer, everyone. We are diving straight into the absolute burning question on practically every UK homeowner and renter's mind. What should you actually be paying for an EICR certificate? We're looking at Taskino's incredibly comprehensive 2026 price guide, pulling back the curtain on fair pricing, regional taxes, and how to avoid cowboy trades. I've got my co-host here who is an absolute expert at breaking these numbers down. Ready to get into it?
Absolutely. Let's cut through the noise, skip the confusing jargon, and look at the actual hard data so we can keep your home safe without you getting ripped off.
Okay, let's dive into this. If you just want the bottom line straight out of the gate, here it is, £200. Based on poll data from over 1,500 real quotes for 2026, £200 is the modal baseline price for a standard 3-bedroom, semi-detached house. So if you've got an average-sized home, stick that number in your head right now as your starting point.
Right, hold on a second though. 200 quid? Because I've definitely seen flyers and online ads promising an EICR for like £89. Why wouldn't I just grab a bargain?
Oh man, I am so glad you brought that up because that is a massive, massive red flag. We literally call it the £89 EICR scam. Think about it, a proper, thorough inspection simply cannot physically be done for that price. What you're getting for 89 quid is a dangerously rushed or just partially completed inspection. The electrician is literally cutting corners to make a quick profit. And when we are talking about the wiring hidden in your walls, cutting corners is the absolute last thing you want.
That makes total sense. So let's quickly cover section 1. What exactly is an EICR?
To understand the price, you have to know what you're actually paying for. Simply put, EICR stands for Electrical Installation Condition Report. You are paying for a registered professional to be on site for roughly 4 to 5 hours. They aren't just having a quick glance. They're meticulously checking your UK wiring colors, thoroughly testing every single circuit at your consumer unit, the fuse box, making sure your RCD actually trips to prevent shocks, and verifying your earthing continuity. It's a deep dive safety check.
Got it. Now, I know homeowners get these sorted when they sell, but what if you're a landlord renting a place out?
Oh, it is incredibly strict for landlords. Under the Private Rented Sector, or PRS regulations of 2020, landlords are legally mandated to get an EICR done every 5 years. The actual test and the certificate cost exactly the same as the domestic rate, but it is a strict legal requirement. And here's the kicker. If the property fails, it triggers what they call C1 or C2 remedials, which average between £200 and £800 to fix before that property is deemed legally safe to let.
Wow, okay, let's move straight to section 2, how prices vary by region and job size. Now, my me in London definitely paid way closer to £300 for his place. Why is there such a huge jump down there?
Yeah, that's basically the London tax for you. Inside the M25 and across the southeast, you're hit with a 20 to 30% premium. Electricians down there are charging hourly rates of £55 to £75. But to be fair, it's not the test itself, it's the logistics. They are dealing with controlled parking zones, crawling through city traffic, and just higher overheads in general. On the flip side, if you're out in a smaller town or rural area, you might only pay around £140 because those hourly rates drop to about £40 to £55.
And job size is the second biggest driver. The math here is really simple. A bigger property equals more circuits, which means the electrician has to spend way more time testing on site. So a 1-bed flat with maybe up to 6 circuits starts gently around £130. But a big 5-bed detached house with 16 or more circuits, that scales right up to between £280 and £450. So region and bedrooms really set the main bracket. Let's hit section 3, the 7 cost drivers. What else bumps the price up? Great question. I'll rapid fire through these. We know circuits and region matter, but look at property age. A house built before 1970 with old rubber or fabric wiring requires much slower, careful testing. Then there's your consumer unit type. An old wired fuse WileX board adds a good 30 to 45 minutes of fault tracing time compared to a modern RCBO board. Urgency adds major out-of-hours fees. And here's one people always forget: parking and access. If you're in a top-floor flat with stair-only access or a gated development, that slows them down and can easily add 10 to 15% to your final bill. That is super helpful. Jumping to section 4, hourly rates versus fixed quotes. If I'm hiring someone, should I be accepting an electrician's day rate or should I absolutely push for a fixed price upfront? This is a crucial distinction. You have to know when to use which.
If you have intermittent RCD trips, mystery dead sockets, or flickering lights, genuinely unknown fault finding, that has to be hourly because they don't know how long it will take to find. A fair rate is 50 to 75 pounds an hour. However, for an EICR, a consumer unit swap, or a full rewire, you absolutely must demand a fixed quote. The scope of work is known, and certification is mandatory. If an electrician wants to charge an hourly rate for an EICR, walkaways immediately. It's a huge red flag. Good to know, which leads perfectly into Section 5, Red Flags and Cowboy Trades. How do I actually spot a dodgy Sparky before any cash changes hands?
You have got to protect yourself here. Watch for these absolute deal breakers. Quotes under £100 for a 3-bed, as we said, physically impossible to do right. Cash-only deals with no VAT receipt? No way. Missing registration numbers? They have to be with NYSEC or NAPIT. If they refuse to put the quote in writing or ask for the full payment before they even start, just shut the door. Remember, every single EICR must be tested against the BS 761 standard, and you just can't do that thoroughly if you are rushing. And let me drop a serious truth bomb right here. If you go for a cheap, mates rate, catch-only job and don't get a formal compliance certificate at the end, it's not just a waste of your money. Under the Building Act 1984, Part P notifiable electrical work done without a registered electrician is a £5,000 legal offense. You are taking on a massive legal risk, especially when you try to sell or let the property later. It's just not worth it. $5,000? Yeah, no thanks. Let's look at Section 6. How do you get an accurate quote? What are the actual steps I should take today to make sure I get a fair price? Okay, here is the ultimate insider tip. Step 1, take a 30-second photo of your consumer unit with the cover open. Taskino's data shows quotes swing wildly by £100 or more simply because homeowners don't say how many circuits they have. Sending that photo stops the guesswork dead in its tracks. Then, count the circuits yourself, get 3 written and itemized quotes, and manually verify the electrician's company name on the NYSEC or NAPIT public registers. Taking a quick photo is such a brilliant, easy tip. Let's hit Section 7, Smart Money Saving Tips. How do we bring the cost down without hiring someone dodgy? Yes, you can absolutely save money smartly. The secret is bundling. If you know your consumer unit is old, get your EICR done at the exact same time as an upgrade. Doing it in a single visit saves you around £80 in extra call-out fees. Landlords can do the same by bundling PAT testing for appliances. Also, try booking off-peak. Tuesday or Wednesday mornings are quieter and sometimes score you a 5 to 10% discount. And always pick a local, independent, NYSEC firm over those massive national booking apps, unless you enjoy paying a 20% markup just for a slick app interface. Bundling makes total sense. But honestly, chasing 3 tradesmen, counting circuits, and cross-referencing registers sounds exhausting. Let's look at Section 8, the easiest way to get sorted.
And that is exactly why Taskino exists. If you hate the hassle of marketplace bidding and chasing people up, Taskino handpicks a local, NYSEC registered electrician for your specific area. You get one vetted professional, a single fixed price quote provided in writing, and the absolute guarantee of a fully compliant BS 7671 certificate at the end of the job. It takes all the stress completely out of the equation. So, if you're ready for a fixed price quote without all the guesswork, head over to taskino.co.uk and read the full guide today. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, everyone. We are going to leave you with this one thought. Right now, behind your walls, your wiring is working 24/7. Are you absolutely certain it's hiding no expensive or dangerous secrets? Don't wait until it's too late to find out.